Welcome to Babylon 5.
Zappers knew you would come.
I think I'll stick my head in the station's fusion plant, but
You've lost much, endured much, sacrificed greatly.
Life's full of mysteries. Consider this one of them.
We are in the process of building the future.
Rangers never fly.
If you go to Zahadu, you will die.
And we're back. I had a manic episode behind stage because it was just me by myself, talking to myself, wondering why people weren't showing up. But then Keith apologized and took responsibility like Hollywood does. Fake, it didn't really mean it, but I love him anyways. And welcome to Season 3 of Babylon 5 as he looks awkward as hell and can't say shit or defend himself while I'm looking at the backstage. Everyone, I hope you're doing well. Yes, we have finally hit a peak in the series. We can finally start talking about stuff that Keith keeps yelling us that we're spoiling. I know Adag is excited. I know everyone's excited. And to bring on my panel, I don't know if I should bring him on. I don't know. I'm just grifting time right now. Wait. All right. Let's bring on my panel as Keith covers his face. The first man we're going to bring on is the author of Adag Outlaw.
I didn't do it.
Of course you didn't. Go back to the back room. Okay, we're going to bring up someone else first and try that again. No. Hi.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Next we're going to bring up is the man in question, Keith.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Season 3.
And, of course, we have Kate rolling her eyes.
I'm not. My eyes are watering.
Oh,
allergy season.
My jokes were that bad? Oh,
no, it's allergies. It's September.
And, of course, the one who never mutes his mic when rustling through papers, Monkey Jeebus.
All right, then.
Hey, he's muted.
Except his mic is muted.
I can't hear him. I don't know what's going on. Hi, guys. Welcome back. We're finally at something good. I finally did the intro. Hopefully, it won't get claimed. F-U, W-B, if you're listening. F-U, indeed. Because I had to cut the last week's full intro out because they tried to claim all of it. It was really weird. Other than that, yeah, and we're getting into the chat, and we have people here already. First of all, we have Archer Colin. Hello. Thank you for being here. Polymuse me, and thank you for being a member of the channel. Truck Dog, hello as well. Lord Thoth, Avon Lives. Nice to see another Canadian in the chat. Wokel is here asking and saying, I don't know why he's asking. He's saying hello and good evening because I can't talk. We have Cuber popping in, greeting all the critters and myself included. Hello, thank you for being here. And of course, we have Zex. Thank you for also being a member and a mod. You also have full reign to jump on the panel when you want, if you're comfortable. And we have a new one in the chat. We have Radius Avalon, Dave Darius with the new avatar. I'm back under a new.
Hey, that's a good one. That's a little. Sure.
We're having a great day. Yes, we are. And who else do we have in the chat that I have not said thank you to? Well, that's about it. And welcome. And before I forgot one important thing. This stream has been most definitely brought to you by Mumberry. Because, memes won't ever give this up. Mumberry. What the fuck did you just say? Oh.
That's the mother of Chuckberry.
You're really quiet. Are you in a well?
Oh, no.
No, you're really quiet, dude. You all right?
Is it better?
No.
Better?
Nothing's changed. I feel like I'm in a Verizon commercial right now. Is it better? Is it better now? Is it better? Hi, Jeeves. How you doing? So where do you want to get into this? We're in Season 3, and this is a great first episode, in my opinion. We're getting to see a whole bunch of new tech, and that's where I start going, yippee. But I wanted to show one thing. Did you guys notice the new ending of the intro, the new screen? When you hear the shadow scream when the Babylon 5 doors close. Mm-hmm. Did you hear that? Now, I want to show you guys this. Since we're going to Season 3, we've been doing this for so long. There's 6 people there, so it bothers me. I was figuring out who to erase because it was Babylon 5, and there's 6 people there. But, yeah, there you go. You guys are now on the, whatever this is called. Where do you want to get into this? How's everyone doing? You guys
look, the name of the season is Point of No Return. And I got to say, from here on out, just about everything that happens will probably be something that will affect these characters until the end of the series.
Yeah. This was a great opener because it felt like not only were the things that happened in the last episode of season 2 wasn't really talked about, it was like we were getting a fresh eyes on all the little layers that were going throughout the season were coming out as like tied loose ends in a bunch of different ways, with whether it be Rangers or White Stars and other stuff. It was beginning to show that even the intro changed for the season. This was a whole new intro, a whole new voiceover, and it was Ivanova, and it was their last best hope for peace. It failed. And we start talking about the second coming of the Great War. And from there, I think that's where I started watching this as a kid and where it got me hooked. This is where I was like, what do you mean Great War? What do you mean Second Great War? What's going on? And then you're just done.
Yeah, it seemed really epic.
Pardon?
It was like more epic than before.
Oh, yeah.
The voice from the wilderness. Jeebus.
All right, test your mic now, Jeebus.
All right, 1 second.
All right, I turned you up for myself. I already edited your mic settings. You should sound a little louder now. All right, who wants to go? Where should we get into this?
Lead us off, Keith.
Yeah, well, the name of the episode is Matters of Honor. And this particular episode actually takes place from December 27th until January 9th. Okay? And considering how much distance and everything's traveled, I can understand that, a lot of the comings and goings. But this particular episode starts off with a visit from, what's his name? David Indawi, who works for the government. Oh, go ahead. No.
I guess wrong. No, that's fine.
Well, I am skipping over the whole garden scene with Sheridan and Kosh, but you know, it's a cool scene. It's not the coolest scene between these two from here on out, but it's a cool scene. It starts with an unscheduled VIP and Sheridan not liking that because, you know, how that's worked out well, especially this last season.
Mr. Happy, look at that face.
Well, it's very government professional. You can see his collar's all buttoned up, his tie, his suit's not very pressed. He's there for one reason, to figure out how this stuff got leaked on the Babcom 5 network, and if the crew of Babylon 5, especially the command crew, knew anything about what this pilot was doing before he was deleted by said leaked footage.
Yep.
I do appreciate that all their government talking head persons like this, bureaucrats like this, they have the perfect I'm from the government and here to help attitude. Like, all the cast members portray that very well.
They're like, I'm here to get to the bottom of this. I'm here to find out that the station's safe, that everyone's safe, that no one's freaking out, that there's a great, powerful ship we know nothing about blowing shit up.
Well, again, he's definitely there to talk to, first of all, the main command staff and Delenn. And for me, when I first watched this episode many, many years ago, I always thought it was strange he started out with them, considering the past relationship and history, especially with the Centauri, that they would not have been included in that first discussion. But hey, you know. Anyway, everybody's asked if they've ever seen this ship before, what they know about the ship, and pretty much, while they were not very forthcoming, they did all tell the truth from a certain point of view. So,
God, don't say that. Is it?
Well, they do. They tell their folklore, their dreams, their circumstantial evidence instead of being specific. That's still the truth.
I think only one person literally told the truth as much as they knew, and that was G'Kar.
Well, G'Kar was actually relating on the text that he has, and he's been clutching that thing for a while now.
But I mean, that he had been saying, nobody had been listening, so obviously when this particular person shows up, he's willing to say all that he knows.
But I have to contradict you with that, Keith. Not only G'Kar told the truth, but so did Londo. Londo actually shared the truth of his dream and premonition of how it blacked out the sky, and there were thousands and then millions.
Yeah, but that's circumstantial and only part of the truth. It's still the truth, but yeah.
It's still the truth, though, because
Yes.
it's the truth of his dream. Yeah.
I know. That's what I was referring to. I said it's circumstantial, but still the truth.
Mm-hmm. So go on, Keith. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. Let's see. And then you also have a ship that takes off, and it's a Drazi in command of the ship trying to make it through the blockade around Zagros 7, I think is the name of the planet.
Mm-hmm. And there's Centauri laser mines or attack mines that have been placed throughout the whole colony. And they're already dealing with the other side of that system with the Centauri capturing stuff that they're already weak with forces in general. I literally been watching these episodes on repeat for about 4 hours, so I've gotten imprinted in my head. Sorry.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Let's see. And basically, he is making his way through all of that in order to help another ship launch. And inside of it, you see that, well, you notice they're both dressed as Rangers. So that's what you're assuming.
Yeah.
But look, this introduces us to a character that I first came in contact with in the novels. So this is one of those rare instances that if you were reading the B5 books, then you already are familiar with Marcus.
Mm-hmm. The reason why there's Rangers taking off from this planet, but we'll probably get into later on and touch a little bit more on it, is the whole fact that as much as the Rangers are being trained on Membar, Membari are still not comfortable enough to see that kind of training there. So that's why I always forget his name. Lanier says that the human phrase, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah. Well, Marcus made his debut in the Babylon 5 novel To Dream in the City of Sorrows, which was also the book that if you had read it would have told you or picks up right after Sinclair leaves Babylon 5. So it fills in that gap of what's going on with Sinclair and also introduces you to the character of Marcus.
For those that actually haven't read the book, I bet there's quite a few of us here. Like, you want to give either you or Dega want to give a quick outline of why Sinclair left so people can get caught up if they're new here?
Well, Sinclair was the original commander of Babylon 5 who was given that post by the Membari.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just about 10 years after the Earth-Membari War. So it's kind of strange that they would ask a human specifically to do this, even though they had entered into a treaty with Earth and helped to put together the Babylon project in order to make sure that there are no more major galactic wars and everybody has an opportunity to be heard as far as representatives from all over the galaxy, or at least the known galaxy. And Sinclair, who is the commander for the first season, is made aware of certain things like his memory not being complete during the war, and finding out that he had actually been captured by the Membari, and the Membari had decided to stop their attack against Earth, their war against Earth, because they found out that Membaris who were dying were being reborn, or their souls were being reborn in human bodies.
Yeah. It was also kept hush-hush because they didn't want the rest of the Membar to know, because it would have caused this mass kind of hysteria, I guess, between all the casts.
Yeah. So, you go through the entire season and he finds out different things, and it leads to basically secrets being kept, the death of the president, and everything else. And at the end of the season, Jeffrey Sinclair, or I should say after the final episode, Jeffrey Sinclair is recalled to Earth and reassigned. And he is made an ambassador to Membar. And the book, To Dream in the City of Sorrows, is all about Jeffrey Sinclair's new assignment on Membar as an ambassador as he begins to learn the truth about the Shadows, the ancient race pursuing the destruction of the galaxy. And Sinclair also discovers a startling secret. He is a linchpin in the plan to stop them.
Mm-hmm. That's brilliant. What about you, Aide? I know you're well versed in books and not mailing books. How are you doing? What would you have to think?
Well, at the time the Minbari were, and it was mostly led by the warrior caste, having divisions of whether or not the ranges were even needed, and for some reason that they didn't understand, people were having this calling, and this happened with Marcus's brother. They just felt drawn to it. And even in the beginning, this Drazi pilot, who they weren't really recruiting Drazi, but there were people drawn to join up with the Rangers. It was a kind of a
calling.
Calling to the heart, as best as what the Minbari would say. And with the warrior caste and the Grey Council kind of turning their backs on to or away from the Rangers altogether, they gave them a little bit of support, but not like they should. They saw the opportunity, Delenn and a couple of people on Minbar, to actually use Sinclair for what he was. They called him to Minbar under the pretense of being an ambassador. Everyone else except for the Minbari thought that he was just an ambassador. Instead, they gave him a crash course into what it meant to be on Lashak or Ranger and let him do his thing. He became the leader of it. So he had a lot of skills that he brought with him. And the book talks a lot about how he learned. Some things were instinctive to him simply because he was a Jesuit. So it kind of fit a lot of Minbari traditions and beliefs. But there were other things that he was learned. And also when they initiated him, and I always thought this was interesting, into On Lashak, they were supposed to eat a certain type of food and go through a ceremony, but the food is actually deathly poison to humans. And he did it anyway, but in small portions, and was able to survive it. They told him he shouldn't do it, but he did it. So the book covers a few things which we're going to get into later on. I did mention that the prototypes with the White Stars were flown. They were single pilot ships. Marcus was one of the pilots. Sinclair was the other one. And then his girlfriend, the bride, I can't remember her name. She was the Asian. But she was also called, she followed basically Sinclair, but she had the same, so she became on Lashak as well.
Yeah.
And when we get later on in the season, I'll explain a little bit more. But that's basically what it is how the on Lashak was able to get on their feet. The Rangers were able to get on their feet and to be the force that they were. And almost all of it wasn't due to Minbari setting it up. It was Sinclair. The Minbari had turned their backs on the Rangers. They thought it was all a hoax at this point because the warrior caste was just saying, we're done with them. And Sinclair said, no way. And that's part of the reason why this station or this place where they were having the training on another world, it wasn't anything but they not diversified as much, like you said, where everything shouldn't be in one basket. It was they needed a place to go because the Minbari weren't being hospitable.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of them are still very angst when it comes to the human race. They still don't trust Sheridan. They still consider him the Star Killer, because of how things ended up.
Yeah,
how
but
they didn't like his tactics in the war.
But also, not every Minbari was let in on the major secret.
Right.
Okay, there are still many Minbari that have no earthly or no real idea why they stopped. So mainly it's the Great Council members and certain people associated with the Great Council, but for the most part, a majority of people have never been told why the Minbari stopped.
And Colin, you got it right. It was Sakai.
Yeah.
Catherine, it was her.
I wanted to quickly go back to the beginning of this episode real quickly because this has been bothering me. I wanted to bring this to the beginning. Does anyone else think that Kosh was racing at the NASCAR right now?
Yeah, that's normal neighborhood stuff here. Anyway,
but did anyone else think that Kosh was literally attempting and delivering perfectly good sarcastic humor with Sheridan when he was like, "Yeah, I want to go have a nap," and he's like, "Oh, are you being exactly the same?" Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What's going on? He was doing it so well that I was picking up going, Kosh is a little bit of a smartass, and I loved it. And I'm sitting there going, I got to rewatch this again just to pick it up. And I'm like, you can hear those tense little, like, for an energy being, he's funny.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's part of the mystery of Kosh. And Kosh has always been like that, and he'll always seemingly remain like that. But I mean, Sheridan had a really good question. Which is, how do I know I'm actually talking to you and not to someone else?
That's not what I said about you, Tickle, but thank you for being a member. And I did not say yes. No, I said turn the lights off and don't look at me. That's what I pretty much said.
Ew, when that
Okay.
Well, no one wants to watch me eat cake in the dark. It's disturbing. I'm just going down there.
Why would anyone eat cake in the dark?
Have you looked at me lately?
No.
But yeah, I love Kosh. I really do. The first Kosh, second Kosh, third Kosh, they're all Kosh over to me.
Don't they like vaguely imply that it's a title? Because they say his last name at one point, and I'm presuming that it's like a suffix Kosh. Maybe that's me. Maybe I'm just crazy. That's
no, they're just being pissy is all.
But getting back to Marcus, and we're getting also to the fact that we're figuring out that the ship that this one pilot's been following and doing off the clock pretty much search, trying to find out whether it's real or not, is eventually now come to light, and it's actually caused a stir not only in the Earth Force government but to Delenn herself.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where it's just, you're like, finally someone lit the candles on the cake. Let's go. I want to eat it. Let's go. Let's get there.
We'll get there. There's a lot to this. I also had a chance to get to know Jason Carter as a person, and I found him to be, fun to hang out with. He's a really cool guy to get to know. So seeing him on the show is kind of exciting for me. So
he looks so young too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you think he looks young here, you ought to check him out on Beverly Hills 90210.
Mm-hmm. Tickletron quickly says Babylon 5 season 3. Keith finally unleashed. Yikes. He was a sweetheart to me as well, says Shane Nolan.
It's just, he was always just a really, really cool dude. I mean, just, Whew. Anyway, so, now that Marcus is on the show, we can start really just getting things rolling the right direction, in my opinion. But Marcus is there to get some help to get the rest of the Rangers off of the planet.
Yeah.
And so he needs the help of Sheridan and Delenn. And so they concoct a plan to help Marcus and the Rangers.
Because they share co-leadership when it came to the Rangers in that sector, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how it is. And I wanted to do this quickly. Sorry. Catman DD Myers, thank you for being a member of the channel and always being supportive. Says hello and good afternoon. I'll be watching on the big screen. FAT-STEVENSEAGAL the fight alive, brother. Excellent work. Keep it up. Thank you so much. And I pass on that excellent work to my panel as well because they help somewhat. Sometimes. I'm kidding. You guys are great. Don't come after me.
What?
He has been holding his B5 nuts for 2 seasons. He finally gets to talk about. Why are you picturing about his nut?
Wow.
Hey, as soon as we said nuts, viewership went up. So I got to talk about Keith's nuts more for some reason.
Oh, jeez.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Sorry.
Oh. Anyway, hopefully none of my kids are watching this. Now,
Your kid, you don't want to know who. You don't want your kids knowing whom you're friends with. That's interesting. It's like a turn the table kind of thing.
well, I mean, some of the humor is a little,
That's the same look everyone in the chat's giving right now. Oh my God. Holding your nut is a phrase. I'm not reading any more of your work right now. Dave Darius says, let's be real. Marcus was quite the unique and undeniably the most handsome addition to the series. I don't know. Kosh's suit was pretty slick.
Well, everybody had their favorites of the show.
So.
All right. And with that, I have to quickly see a driver. Keith, take over. I will be right back. I do apologize.
So, let me just get right down to it. Let me ask every single person, what was your favorite part of this entire episode? Let's start with Adega.
My favorite part was when Delenn was looking at Sheridan and trying to explain that you cannot take on a shadow vessel, and he says, well, pardon me, but I've heard that saying before. However the phrase went, he knew what he was doing, and just, you know what, sit back, let the adults handle the fighting here.
No, he goes and says, with all due respect, I've been told that before.
That's the line.
That's the one. He's just like, sit down. It's okay.
Yep.
That is a good scene. That's a really good scene. Wow. Well, Kate, how about you? Would you agree? Is that your favorite, or do you have another one?
It's a good one. I like the candor. I think it's funny because she's just like, well, okay. And then she retorts later. It's like, I don't remember what she says, but it's are you ready? No. Oh no, it's no. But you may proceed. And she's just like, we're doing this then. That's fun. But I also like that because my camera's terrible. The Rangers pin. I don't know if in the one they use, because I swear it's only one, is an actual stone, like a crystal stone. But I'm pretty sure it's one of these. You can't. Is it going to reflect?
Looks like a polished granite. Yeah.
No, this is labradorite.
Oh,
So
okay.
I just have a shitty camera and bad lighting, so it reflects in a blue, green, yellow kind of flashiness, and that's what it does when they hand them back and forth. So I thought that was kind of interesting because it's like a one with the universe meaning of the crystal, and they do that throughout the series, which is like a really slipped in low key thing that you have to be into that stuff to notice.
Well, I do know that the fake ones don't use the labradorite. It just
it's like it looks like a fake emerald, like a plasticky.
Yeah.
I like the beginning with Posh, where he's just having the conversation in the garden, and then Posh is going, I really hate that. I really hate it when you do that, and he's like, good.
Right. Good.
Wow. Well, then that leaves me. You know what? I think my favorite part, and it's going to be kind of obvious, my favorite part is when Mr. Indawi is with Garibaldi, and Garibaldi's explaining about what he does and doesn't know and how he
Yes.
I mean, the look on his face as Garibaldi is saying all this stuff, I mean, that is worth it right there. So, the other thing, though, that really kind of got me just a little bit is, obviously, Mr. Adawi suspects something. Okay? He can't put his finger on what, but he definitely suspects something. When you see him at the end of the episode, you can tell he really wants to get to the root of what was going on, but he does have to get back to file his report. So, and I always thought, at least when I first saw this episode, that we'd be seeing him again. But as we
at the very end of the episode, you know that he was just a tool. He didn't know what he was doing. He was just there as an investigator. He had no clue why or what or anything else.
Yeah, and you get a pretty good idea of exactly what he was doing. I mean, that does come into play.
Right.
I personally think this is again, I have to agree with Steven. This is a really good episode, a really good, strong start for season 3. We are on course, as I said before, to unveiling several things that are going to just basically have after effects from now to the very end of the series. Seeing the White Star for the first time and what it can do is also, I should add that in, is really another favorite part in this entire episode for me, and helps to establish the White Star as one of the best science fiction ships of the 90s, if not of all time for television. I just really enjoyed the White Star. Woo! Yeah.
Right.
So, how would you rate this particular episode? Let's start with Monkey.
I'll give it maybe a 7.
Okay. Fair. Kate?
Yeah, about a 7, 6, 7. It's a good intro, but it's very much dry. So.
Adega.
Well, I have to go higher. I'll give it an 8. Something about, I think I mentioned this before, for any who have read book series or other things of that nature, an important thing to do when you add a new series, a new season, a new book, or what have you, is that there has to be something new added. Mm-hmm. There has to be something unique about the next chapter, the next season. And bringing in the Rangers and bringing in Marcus was perfect. But it was a season opener. They're not going to hit you with all the bells and whistles, so it's not going to be a 10. I'd have to give it an 8.
Okay. Hello, Arwen. You know what? I agree.
Hello, Arwen.
For me, I mean, having read the books, having a character come to life that you first met only as, just words on a page, and given how well Jason Carter played the part, it feels like at least to me, that I've known this character for a lot longer. I just thought he was a welcome addition to what they had going on in the show. So yeah, I give this episode an 8. So very well done. Very well done. Okay, well, then that means we're just going to jump into the next episode. Okay? Which is Convictions. Things get exciting on Babylon 5 Station. So, this particular episode actually takes place January 13th to the 14th of 2260. So, let's see. It's written by J. Michael Straczynski.
I'm sorry, I got hit by a Membari.
Are you sure? Are you all right?
Yeah, it
Was
was
it
grocery
Membari or
Membari. I was either Membari Gateway or Gateway Grocery or some Membari. It was Black Star.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And the great thing about this particular episode is it features a cameo
Really?
from the director of photography, John C. Flynn, who plays a very memorable part in this particular episode.
We're still in Matters of Honor, right?
No, we're just started Convictions.
What the hell?
So
Are you
what
telling me
thinking?
you didn't talk about the first time a shadow vessel has missed a White Star,
Well,
and
you
the fact that
thinking
he blew up a jump gate
No.
and called it the bonehead maneuver? You don't. What? I'm gone
Well,
for 5
you're-
minutes.
It was more than 5 minutes. And you got to talk about something, so continue.
Sorry. Arwen Avalon, nice to see you in the chat. How dare you, Keith? I said continue the conversation. Not to take it to the next episode. He's like, I gotta get the fuck out of here before Steven gets back.
Do you want to go back and cover that stuff just
You know
for
what?
you?
You know what? We'll do that. We will rewind.
Yeah,
No, we'll finish it off. You know what?
That's what
He's
she
right.
said.
I screwed up. I am
You didn't
sorry.
screw up.
everybody.
You don't,
No.
Stop
I
that.
did.
Stop
I did.
that. Stop that. I just, I'm just saying. I can't. I'm a nerd. My God. Yeah.
It took me forever to find this image.
Obviously, Keith has his own ADHD, and it's not for details. It's just for the big story and the plot points and explosions, and that's what you're here for, Steven.
Ever since we started this show, there are things that I've been wanting to say. It's like I've been holding.
So have I. You holding in? I love you too.
Oh my God.
But honestly, we gotta remember there's the tech nerds out there that love that stuff too. And we're like, you already rated the episode without me. Like, what is this? Like, you're like, I'm the captain now. Fuck off.
You said take over. And that's what he did. He did the
I said take over, not take off. I said take over, not take off.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
I'm sorry. I love you guys. This is why we can banter. I love this stuff.
I also like the part where Sheridan says, "What else can this thing do?" It's fun. That is enjoyable because he's very enthusiastic about his big new toy. Just like David.
And Brett Cohen with the $1.49 super sticker of popcorn because drama here is so fantastic. And just for that, this is dedicated to Keith as well.
Has made some bad choices.
Damn right.
See, I would have thought that would have rated me to give me money, but you know what? That's cool.
No. Give me money. Give me money.
Better. Like this is the first time we are.
Better.
Like this is the first time we're introduced to a White Star. Sheridan actually gets to step on a fucking White Star. That is incredible. It's biotech mixed with Membari tech. It's Vorlon and Membari tech as one ship. Nothing has ever been seen like this, especially by the shadows. That's why they were testing this whole ship to see who they were, what its things were. And he even played a brilliant plan. Let's use that jump gate, stop scavengers of a dead world, of a dead system, and blow that fucker up. And they did that. To the point where Lanier's like, I think we should put this and have it like a review because that maneuver in this ship, he was like, I don't want to do that again, but we should put this in the journal just in case. It was brilliant. I'm a hyper dork when it comes to this.
That's not even the most brilliant part. The most brilliant part is when he's saying, well, why don't we just use our own jump gate because we can now. I was like, well, we don't want them to know what we have. Yeah. It's not
showing all your cards
kind of thing. Yeah.
It's not playing your hand before it's dealt. Is that right? Is that the right saying?
No.
Yeah, basically the kind of plan that you'll definitely not see on Star Trek Discovery. So
right?
Yeah, he was literally about to say fucking grave robbers. I was waiting for that to slip out of his mouth, and I forgot. Yeah. Wait, this is Sid indicated. He can't really say that. This isn't The Wire.
Well, you can tell the actor might have accidentally said that at least in one take.
If you're wondering where my clips come from, the Fortnite one you just saw is literally from my stream where I'm banging an ATM last season. When you see stuff like the cartoon, that is from C-Lab 2021, when Adult Swim was pretty much in its prime of edge commentary, comedy shows, and there was over 10 to 15-minute shows that were goddamn brilliant. Like when you got Space Ghost Coast to Coast, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Venture Brothers, everything.
Seriously, my best friends are at a convention. Just got done with at a convention and hung out with Frylock the whole time.
Oh, good.
I know.
Did they steal his gem?
No, what?
Oh, did they steal his gem?
I don't know. I didn't ask for specifics. They had dinner with him multiple times, so.
Oh, but like
I know.
Like this ship is also being constructed and run by the religious caste, not the warrior caste, because of past things that's happened with the Great Council. This is the first time that the religious caste has had a ship, right? A war ship. This ship is something. No, because warrior caste handles most of the stuff like that, don't they? They are scientific.
Yeah, but I guess I was under the impression that this was strictly people associated with the Rangers making them.
But it's still being made by Minbari and Orlon Tech combined. Yeah.
I know.
Earth, like this is nothing Earth has ever seen before, even like an Earth captain or an Earth commander. I love this stuff.
That's the reason why Sheridan has that look on his face. I mean, he is in lust.
When the visual screen comes floating down like TLC's waterfalls, he's just like, I want to do you right now. Don't go change waterfalls. Fuck that. I'm going after that ship. Close the lights. I'm going in, Delenn. I want it now. I just want it now.
Oh my God.
For me, like when I say I love like the backstory of lore when it came to like the Great Wars previous, that when these guys are going around the second attempt, like like how Lord of the Rings had like stuff like that, it's because you're starting to see the development of new tech, the branching and combining of old races with new races, so the younger races can not only evolve within themselves but learn from the mistakes and use what tech can benefit without being reliant on that tech to become exactly like the same as like the Vorlons or the same as the Shadows. They're still, you know what I mean? It's combining.
You should read my stuff.
I will. Just send it my way. I told you I'd interview you. I'm still waiting for my books from June.
Not the same books though. Anyway,
Adega Outlaw, the writer, not the Postal Service.
I do have an issue because earlier on, Keith had said that the White Star was probably the best ship of the 90s or sci-fi all time. This screen here, you look behind there, there's another ship behind it made by a much older race, much more powerful race. I tend to disagree. That black thing that looks like a spider and it screams at you in the night, that's number one.
Did you guys hear that? I actually put the scream in at the end of the intro. Like I read it all today, and you heard that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like the Shadow Vessel in itself is mind-blowingly, horrifyingly beautiful. It looks like creeps people out who hate spiders. I know people hate spiders, but people, it's brilliant because when you see that, or before you see that, you'll hear that scream, and then when you learn later on in the seasons, I'm not going to spoil it, Keith. It's okay. That what they're using to power it's art in sci-fi, in my opinion. I think I agree with Adega. The White Star is brilliantly beautiful, but the sleekness and the darkness of the Shadow Vessels itself are in its own tier.
But it looks like a sea anemone. I don't see how that's threatening.
Oh, by the way, we do got merch, so you can buy Master Grift stickers now in mugs because I got a grift.
A space anemone.
And thank you, Tickle Trunky. But like, I love this stuff. It's like no shows do this anymore.
I do have a serious question. When you rewatch this, apparently multiple times today, did your face match Sheridan's face up?
No, not really. I had my pants down. I wasn't looking anymore. I didn't want to ruin eye contact. I'm not serious. Calm down. It was only one pant.
Oh, what was that? What show was that from? That was from something. It was horrible.
And like Adega, like the Shadow, like come on, man, like honestly, if they did even did a mod for like say Battlefront 2, and you were able to fly White Stars or Star Furies versus Shadow Vessels, do you know how fucking fun that would be? Why has no one done that?
Some guy made an art.
Hold on a second. This interruption was brought to you by Timex. Memes doesn't own one.
Oh God.
And Mum Berry. Anyone else taste raspberry?
I like raspberry.
Get in here, memes. I know you have an intro rating. Come on.
There are a couple of things that these ships do have in common, though. They both have a skin that learns, an organic, self-repairing skin, as well as they both scream at you. One is pleasant and one is terrifying.
Well, if you're Zach, supposedly it's called. Where is it? I saw it earlier. Where? Hold on, memes. Give me a second. There was one thing in here, like, and I was like highlighting it. Where is it? Better not have deleted it. Where is it? Where is it, Zax? Did you delete it? I saw it in here. Right before the popcorn. Where was it? Where was it? What the fuck? It's not the Latinx star. It is not. It is not. No way in hell. No. No. It's the Latina star. And with that, chat, I know you've all been waiting for the Mumberry himself. Oh my God, Jackson. No, and again, don't repeat it. No. I love you so much. There we go, memes.
Though I know I should be wary, still I venture someplace scary. Ghostly haunting, I turn loose. Beetlejuice! Beetlejuice! Beetlejuice!
Oh, make sure to get original brand Mumberry juice from your local dealer as well. And I don't know, man. I don't know. The Latinx star, it's got quite the ring to it. Although I thought it was the white star because he had destroyed the black star, and so irony and you gives to a human from and bada boom, bada bing. Hey guys, how we all doing?
Oh God, you're huge. I gotta put you down. There you go.
Oh, I apologize. That's what never mind.
Hi, sorry. Thank you. You got here. I had to backtrack to the other episode that we magically skipped through half of the cool stuff because some people are tech nerds. Does anyone else have anything to add? I feel like I just went all about ships for some reason, and does anyone else find love for ships in Babylon 5?
No, it's just you.
I like ships.
And memes. So he saved the day. Stop yelling at him.
What was I yelling at him?
I have micro machine versions of most of the ships. I do love the ships.
See, if it was the Latinx star, what it would do is just all you hear is every time it gets hit, it'd be representation. That's all you hear as it takes off into the jump gate.
What?
So we're memes. We're on Matters of Honor, season 3, episode 1.
Right. This was great. No, this was beautiful. And the best part was we actually had skipped ahead and actually covered these episodes before, so I actually already watched them. And so I only had to go back and rewatch them. And things make so much more sense. I'm like, oh, these are really good episodes. And now I actually understand what they were saying about it. It's like, well, this jump gate is expendable. Why? Well, because the not the Mogwai people, but others, the macaques. No, those are birds. The people that died from the plague. Their homeworld was being stripped. Yes, the Drazi, and they did not. And Sheridan did not like grave robbers.
I don't think it was the Drowsy either. No, it
wasn't Drowsy. It was something with an M. Memes is halfway there. He's just not putting the letters in the right order.
The term was a Malcath or something? The Malcath or something?
Marcath.
The Macaf.
I'm not saying that out loud to the trunk. I'm not saying that out loud. It's not happening here. It's the Marcab. Yeah, not your whatever the fuck you're talking about.
That one. The synthetic trunk.
Yeah, the Marcab died because of that transmittable disease. Remember, Delenn was breaking down tears with Lanier. And
basically, it was the yellow blood thing.
It was the yellow snow. Yes.
Yes. I hear it's not always lemon.
Platelets.
Be wary.
Yeah. So, what did you think about this episode before I go back into undying love for ships? Because I don't know, I love X-wings too. But
Well, this is the thing, and the sheer fact that there isn't that much detail. I'm sure there's more detail in other places as well. It's like you get to the point where it's like, all right, this is getting real. And now I actually understand why the intro to this season is different than the others. I'm like, oh, well, we tried to do the peace thing. That didn't work out. So now this war, and the sheer fact that in an intro, they're like, we failed. How often do you hear anybody saying, we failed nowadays? Just some side food for thought. But the sheer fact you're going into this, it's the point where it's like, all right, a matter of honor. Well, we're not really supposed to be there. It's a Centauri place. They're involved there. And it's like, no. These are our people. We're responsible for them. It's like, all right, if I'm going to be the hero and go perhaps above the law, well, there's a bureaucrat around, I'm totally going to do it. And the best man to put in charge of that is Garibaldi. Because remember, he doesn't tell himself things, then he doesn't know what he doesn't need to know to make his life easier.
Exactly.
And the sheer fact that in this episode, even the bureaucrat's he's like, this is a very strange place you have here. He's like, thank you. And outside, it makes sense because it is a strange place. Go ahead, Kate.
I also love how Ivanova is just like, I already know all this, guys. If I don't know something, then be worried. That's like, I relate to that so much. Like, if I don't know, then there's something wrong.
hey, memes, and since you missed it because you weren't here for the intro and you missed all the hard work, there you go. I redid it for season 3, dude. There you go.
Oh, we have representation. Yay.
Oh, now you just ruined it. I'm going to delete everything and start all over again there.
Well, you going to hop in the line next star?
Yeah, that's exactly it. And then I'm going to go down to my BLM 5.
Dude, that's actually got a catchy ring to it. I'm not sure if it's racist, though. I apologize.
Oh, my God.
Blem 5?
No. But this ship, as soon as you first see it, and again, hey, I still need to watch the actual premiere, so I actually know what the heck's going on, rather than just trying to fill in all the details here. But the sheer fact, it's like, all right, you got a guy that blew up the Black Star. You see this thing. My best comparison I'm like, that kind of looks like the Vorlon ship. It's not quite a Vorlon ship. And the sheer fact, it's like the first time that anyone outside of perhaps a grainy video or whatnot actually sees a shadow, and it's like, OS, it's about to hit the fan. It's coming for us. It's that big ship-like facehugger. Oh my God, what do we do? It's like, keep on getting the mines, and then you're doing evasive maneuvers. It's like, they missed. They never miss. It's like, oh, maybe they're trying to figure out, who are you? Because then when they figure that out, then they could ask, what do you want? Because they don't necessarily want to F things up. And he's like, all right, we're going to save our one thing here. It's like, what are we going to do? We're going to do the bonehead maneuver. Why? Because we can.
Don't forget, she apologized to Lanier because bonehead is also a slur to Membaris to a certain point. So
well, obviously.
But I'm saying that because most people don't really catch it unless you were actually paying attention to most interactions over time.
But
well, I mean,
that's
visually it should be obvious, but yes.
Oh, it is? It is a curse? Oh, God.
It's a curse. It's derogatory towards Membari for obvious reasons.
Okay, guys, I was joking with BLM 5. Now we got BLT 5, BLM 5.
Ooh, BLT
Everyone's
5,
going on. Welcome to BLM 5.
BLT 5.
Don't
Right.
pay attention to that fire.
But have 5 BLT? Like, how would it work? It's just like layers of sandwich. It's cool.
Now 5 strips of bacon.
Wait,
yeah,
so is it bacon, Londo, and lettuce and tomato? Sorry, bacon, Londo, and tomato.
Ew.
You don't want to know where this is going. You want to get back to ship.
Yes.
How did you? Sorry, let's get back. Memes, what did you think of this episode?
Oh, this was beautiful. It's beautiful. It's better than like 5 mumberries. All right, freshly squeezed.
I'm not squeezing your berries, man. Memes, that's gross.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's going to share the proceeds.
Oh, great. That sounds sick.
What? No, we're not in the health industry. We're in the juice industry.
Berry exploitation.
Oh, shit. We just lost Keith. Was he trying to put on a camera?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Keith, come back to me, brother.
You're talking about berries. He's like, all right, I'm done. I'm done. I don't care if J. Michael Straczynski is hinting at potentially New Babylon 5. You guys have gone beyond the line right now. I'm done.
I still think that Pyre SP was very much what you need to try out, memes, and let us know if it's Bumberry enough.
Just don't ask another man to squeeze your berries, and you get all the proceeds. That's not a good deal. That sounds sick.
It's made of real mumberries.
Is
yes.
It fresh?
I don't know. Did you shower?
Not yet.
And it's definitely not fresh.
Ew.
All right, this has got weird. I'm sorry if anyone from the Babylon 5 cast is listening right now. We're always like this, but it's fun. Squeeze the juice. Mumberry juice.
I feel like this is going to go down a road of choose and perish, where things get mispronounced to the point of being really bad.
So as Miss Solomon would say, being good ambassadors for ourselves and the series we're enjoying, yeah, great ships, great battles, and the sheer fact that once I actually started making all the connections, I'm like, oh my God, it's kind of like Game of Thrones. It's like every little thing is like worked in there. I'm actually referring to the book series that I've never actually read.
I am the weird one. I've already accepted that. Thank you, Tickle. Make me one. Make you. I'm not going into this.
You're
But
not the
yeah,
only weird one, though. That's the difference.
But this is why we have so much fun. Is because name the another show where we talk like this and have fun and make jokes and still get back on top. You name one other show that we've done.
Like, could do that or do that? I mean,
That has done that
people,
recently. Exactly. Hi, Keith. You have something to say? Because it looks like you're biding your time going, shut the fuck up already. I want to get down through this.
I am enjoying the discussion.
It is a beautiful piece of craftsmanship and technology. And this is actually something that it shows that alien races tech can combine to make something that can not only defend and protect all races, it means that people can come together and create something better for the future. I think that was the message when you see the combining of tech. That's just my opinion.
How very Delenn of you.
Thank you. Let me go shake my head and get a bone piece right now, and I'll get on.
This is what you get when you feed Vorlons enough bum berries.
Why is it going to die video game? I have no idea. Probably because the last thing is you don't want a company in control of your lore and twisting shit around just for an easy buck, especially with the way live service gaming is right now.
You'd be better off with like the Warhammer people making, like redoing the scenes, cutscenes, transitions, and stuff like that, just for funsies. But probably has been done. Because Warhammer.
Yeah. That's why the Minbari circle of 9 never worked, because 3 times 3 makes one person not feel. Oh my god, I'm not reading the rest of that.
Okay, but I'm pretty sure it's the 369 Tesla stuff versus,
Dang, you're fine.
All right, so where should we go next? We've talked about the ships. I give this episode literally a 5 out of 5. I do love it. What about you, Memes? Because I think everyone's already covered this episode, right? You down your rating?
Whatever I gave it before, like plus 0.25. I want to say actually, okay, maybe plus point. Probably like a 9 point.
Plus.
It's probably like a 9.5. I don't know. I just love the sheer fact. It's like, let's do what we're totally not supposed to do because we can do it, and it might be the only thing that will work right now.
True. I said 7.
You need to do something that just people won't expect. They're going to plan for every logical thing that could be done, so therefore you must do the illogical. Makes perfect sense to me.
I don't know if I would consider the shadows logical. Maybe duplicitous. Yeah, but not logical. They're not like a chaotic neutral or they're just chaotic evil.
And thank you guys.
But then they wouldn't have missed.
All right, we're getting off subject.
That's not logical.
Can we move on to the next episode? Or is everyone ready to go?
Go on.
Yes, sir.
Sir? That doesn't sound right. Sounds weird. How are they not logical, though? Because they come from a mind of... we can't talk about... No, we can't talk about this. This spoils episodes down the road. We can't talk about this.
No, it doesn't. Well, I mean, you can. I can. I'm good at that.
There'll be no spoiling today.
I'm not sure I'd be... Anyway, sorry.
It's okay. We're going to leave it with this imagery. And Keith, take it away with Conviction. Season 3, episode 2. Another great episode. Great interactions with G'Kar and Londo. Something we've been waiting for again. Best kind of Three Stooges shit you're ever going to see.
This was also Miss Tallman's favorite episode.
Yeah.
This is probably a lot of people's favorite because of this.
The episode starts out with you have pilgrims, Drazi pilgrims, who have shown up to the ship, and they are wanting to be there because I think it's their deity Droshala appeared on the ship or on the station.
Yeah, because everyone saw something different when Kosh came in, right? So everyone had a different representation because the energy was projecting a different imagery compared on the race. So they thought everything was sacred, and they're starting to poke things. They're poking Zach. Poke that plant, please, while I run you in. Just poke everything.
Yeah.
It's like, you are not sacred, and you are not sacred, and you are not sacred. Everything is sacred. I'm like, why don't you go sit over there and sacred yourself in a corner?
I love that part.
Go ahead. I'm so excited. Oh, that's my favorite. Call in. Thank you. Please. Hey, when Garibaldi looks at Zach and goes, "Hey, can you explain the missionary position?" I was done. I was out. It's with the pilgrim hat and the turkey baster. Gobble gobble.
Oh man, I'd forgotten about that one.
Those were the Puritans, I believe.
I just always expect Zach to break into song because I'm a weirdo.
I mean, I was a fan of when the brothers showed up. It's like not only because I could say the brothers, and
you missing what I'm saying here. You don't know what the dude who plays Axe is also from? Is that what's going on here?
Wait, what?
He's Kaneki in Greece.
What?
The movie Grease.
In Greece.
Oh,
yeah, that was. Kaneki's like,
weren't there like some sharks and stuff? Oh my God. The pond.
Oh my God. No.
I was born in the 80s. I wasn't good at living it, except for maybe Ghostbusters.
He hasn't had his mulberry juice today. He's not quite up with the program.
I'm gonna go cry now. Anyway, I love the part like, don't touch me, because I'm just like, come on, this needs to be a musical. Give me this.
I will say this: he was a very good actor. I enjoyed seeing him on Taxi, though. That's my favorite pre-Babylon 5 part for him. Even though I did enjoy him in Grease, I liked him in Taxi more. So, but let's go ahead and try convictions. Let's see. Oops, hold on. Where are my notes? Uh-oh. I undid my notes now.
Wait a second. You prepare?
No, I mean I'm winging it.
Oh.
So then we have.
I feel so lazy.
You should.
Look,
everything is in balance now.
It for me. I mean, again, it's I really do like this season. This is pretty much my favorite season of the entire series.
Yeah,
so
it's brilliantly done.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
it goes from very intense to very funny, and they keep that kind of momentum going well.
I think this is one of the best episodes in the whole series with the interaction between G'Kar and Londo. Because as much as their races are fighting, they just look like the grumpy old men or the odd couple in this episode. And G'Kar's just singing away, and he's like, "In the words of Earth, screw you, a-hole," or something like "up yours," not happening. And he's singing songs like "Londo's gonna die, and I can't do nothing because it will kill people." Yeah, why haven't you killed me yet? Because 70 more. Narn will die. Go fuck yourself. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. It's like, the persona is perfect.
He keeps bringing up the treaty. He's like going like, "Did you not forget the treaty? If I kill you, like my family's gonna pay."
100 random Narns are gonna end up on Jeopardy for real.
No, it's like 300 to 500 now because it was originally like 100. But no, this episode, I did love this before. And it makes so much more sense now that I actually saw the Centauri basically use weapons of mass destruction against the Nard. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm just saying the build up to that point, the sheer fact that the war actually happened. He's like the single free Nard at this point there. You even saw as Londo's getting in, because I actually paid more attention to it this time. Like all of a sudden he's like, "I'll take the next one." All of a sudden, big explosion. He's like, oh crap. And then he looks completely the other way. He's like, "I still can't get away." He's like, "There's no choice." Like, he was looking for any reason not to get in that elevator, but he had no choice. He had to get in that elevator, and they got stuck there. And the sheer fact, like, when he starts waking up, he's like, "Oh, there's fire." It's like, have you tried to get out? No, it's like, well, help me. He's like, No. It's like, well, no, you have to help me or you'll die too. He's like, it's like, I don't have to help you. No. I can't kill you. I can't do anything to harm you, but I can let you die. I mean, it makes so much more sense.
Mhm.
But that's like the second explosion he's missed. Like he's almost got hit by it, I think.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
How many G'Kar does it take to
Lemire saved his life.
Mhm.
I feel bad for Lemire because Lemire's sitting there comatose, and Londo's just there going, "I have never had my life saved before. I love you." We're like, dude, get a grip, go out, have a drink, leave me the fuck alone, because he gets really leechy, really queaky. It's really queaky.
Well,
He gets very he's guilt-ridden, like survivor guilt-ridden, and doesn't know what to do with that experience because he's never had that experience. So he just keeps talking. Besides being a kind of person who likes to hear himself talk, then that time's guilt. So yeah, plus bad jokes. Like
I also believe that in a very real way, Lemire's one of the few non-Centauri who, at least in his comatose state, doesn't actively act like or pretend that he doesn't want to be around Londo. I mean, Londo pretty much is a guy who, compared to the way he was in the first season, there's probably quite a few people in the station that really don't want to be around him.
Question?
Yeah.
Did you just say comatose?
Comatose.
Comatose?
Oh, I'm sorry, comatose.
Comma's that thing that goes inside. All right, new meme is ready. All right, we got Mumberry last week. We got comatose next week. It's the bread that keeps punctuating.
Is it not grammatically correct? Because comma means there's going to be a pause there, and if you haven't been in a coma, hopefully it's only just a pause.
Thank you, Beans.
we can justify it with internet logic, but
The doctor says no.
Hold on. Okay, Google, what is comatose?
Here's the definition of toast.
See, you don't even know.
It knows you too well.
Went right for the food. Toast.
He's like,
now, for everyone who has a
automatically
Google,
adding butter.
I want to say that for everyone who had a Google phone and it just went off right now, I'm fucking sorry. I love doing that live. You just go, "Hey Siri," or you go, "Hey, okay Google," and everyone's phones go off while they're
why do
watching.
people have that on? Why do you have that on? That surprises me.
I don't think you can turn it off on Apple.
Yeah, you
I've
can.
looked it up. Wait, what?
I don't use Apple. That's for the weak.
Well,
So does Mumberry Jam go on comatose? Does Mumberry Jam
I'm
go on
getting that on a
comatose?
t-shirt. Okay?
Yes.
Yes, it does. It goes extremely well. If you've ever met an Australian and they've talked about Vegemite, I can neither confirm or deny it's similar to Vegemite.
We're coming. I gotta get like a web series at this point. Comatose versus the Mumberry
See
Jam.
what I tell you? You need food cookbook.
Is that a recipe right there? Is that a recipe right there? It'd be like Mumberry Jam and comatose with eggs.
We should invite Lethal on or some of our friends from Australia too.
Why?
Probably.
Wow.
That's a little mean to be like, "Hey, we want you on here just to make fun of the food you maybe like, but we don't know."
No, maybe he'd actually like this stuff. I don't know. I don't know if this combination. Wow, I was being racist. I apologize.
Guilty.
Continent list.
Uncomfortable.
Continent.
Laughing. Silent. Muted.
What?
Fired.
I'm dead. Except not in that picture. Should have
Don't
there we go.
you want Mumberry to love? Don't you? Sorry.
All right, take it away, Gary. Gary, oh my God, Keith.
Oh, sure.
You still own a comic book?
I would like to talk about the second episode since I had to backtrack so much.
Well, only because we missed your favorite part because you weren't here.
Well, I have to take care of delivery drivers.
I know. I'm not saying you're wrong for not being there. I'm just saying it's inevitable.
iPhones are for the conformists. Yes, they are. Thank you. I mean, weak, not conformist. Same thing. I like my comatose slathered in Crisco. Fuck, what the fuck?
Oh, he's making
What,
the
Fat
frying
Steven?
sound.
Chris?
I believe what you did
Oh my
there.
god! I swear! Start letting this down deliberately. You will have
There's
a
nothing
fucking
better
new
than
time.
Mumberry and Crisco in the morning. Fat Steve approves this. Rob Schneider also approves this, but in the same voice.
Yeah, that's exactly it right there.
Mumberry in the morning, Mumberry in the evening.
I just like to say I love you
That
guys so
sounds
much
good.
right now.
Crazy.
It's funny that G'Kar has the same look that goes with everything we're talking about, and everyone's just like, "What the fuck?" It's perfect.
Interneting.
Anyway,
So the song that G'Kar sings, I'd like someone to do that to maybe refresh my memory. Is that too much to ask? I guess so. That's fine.
I mean, who are you asking?
The audit, the panel persons who are
Vocalized
talking.
meme. Sorry, Kate. Vocalized meme. Your tongue is longer than the average Centauri reproductive organ. All 6 of them.
Can't confirm. That was a lie. That was a lie. I didn't look at the doll.
Look at the doll.
I think we broke Keith. Is it bigger than my pompadour?
Wait, you have a dog?
Heck, I don't have. That's a Pomeranian.
What?
I mean,
Pomeranian and pompadour are 2 different things. Even poodle's not even close. Do we have to do like a Babylon 5 on Sesame Street with memes?
I'm thinking of calling. Oh wait, this isn't the right
But
song.
if you
That's
no, if you mix a Pomeranian and a Labrador, you could get a pompadour.
Pompadoodle.
No, door. Labrador, pompadour. Okay, never mind. I'll leave.
I'm not breeding dogs. I don't know what's going on here.
All right, back to the episode. I know. Keith has totally gone radio silent while he gets back in his chair.
What? I'm just talking about designer dogs. There's nothing wrong with that, you weirdos.
Aren't you talking about eugenics?
No, it's just selective breeding, which people.
Pepper's Farm members when we started talking about Babylon 5.
Oh, Mumberries and Centaurs and
Centaurs?
Centauri. Apologies for my misspeciesing.
Bruce, if you're listening,
we're
not always like this.
Yes, we are.
Mr. Straczynski, we're not well. You got a lot of letters in your name there, sir.
Straczynski?
Is that your Joe voice?
Joe voice.
Oh, J. Michael Straczynski.
Straczynski.
I don't know. Is that what he talks? I don't think I've ever heard his voice, so I can't tell. I've only seen some of his tweets.
All right, let's get back on topic. Who wants to start with this episode before we go back to weird shit?
So there's a psycho guy blowing up shit that they figure out is a psycho guy through his job, and then he lost a job to get another job, and Sheridan ends up talking him kind of down, but doesn't quite work out. Well, Garibaldi figures out the actual mystery, and explosions.
Yes, but you also
lesson is never put your communicator in your butt crack.
That's exactly it, right there. He fucking farted the whole intercom. What about you, Keith? I know you want to say something about that. Yeah. We can hear what you had for lunch. Come on, Keith.
Wow.
You got to get in here. That's what he said. That's literally what Garibaldi said.
Yeah.
Can you hear my salad being tossed right now? Yes, Commander, I can.
Oh, jeez.
Wait, is that what he said?
No.
You said it was what he said.
That part.
Oh.
Come on, Keith. You got to start talking, man, because I'm running out of material here.
I'm trying, but I keep... Okay. Well. Anyway, yes. You have Ivanova. She meets up with Garibaldi to inform him that they got anonymous messages about in the last 3 hours about chaos being 4 hours away, 3 hours, so on.
Yep.
And you also have the lurkers down below. They're going through things that they can sell, and suddenly, boom, and there's an explosion. And you also have Ivanova, who is meeting Brother Theo and the rest of his monks as they arrive on Babylon 5 station. And the monks want to live there and make their way there and help people and just be helpful, basically.
They're also very smart, very intelligible. They have a lot of engineering and computer science degrees too.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just like normal monks. They literally have skill sets that eventually become beneficial to not only this episode, but later in the future. They're like their own type of technomancer in a way.
Yeah.
Well, I like what you did there. But it's like, well, why would they show up and do this gig? It's like, because they believe. And all of a sudden it's like, wait a second. You're saying it's true? People can still believe? What an interesting concept.
You're right. But basically, ultimately, the brothers are going to be there, and they're going to live amongst everyone. And he tells Ivanova that they don't need extravagant quarters; they just need a space.
And they want to live in the under sector. Yeah.
Yeah. So, meanwhile, you have Lanier, and he is waiting on Minbari transport to get there because he's meeting Delenn. And that's the scene that has the cinematographer John C. Flynn in it as the laughing guy who talks too much. And Netter syndrome is named for the producer of the series, Douglas Netter. But you have Delenn getting off and coming in, and followed closely by Londo. And as the explosion starts, Lanier is able to get both Delenn and Londo into safety, but is unable to get through himself as the door closes, and he's trapped as the explosions go off. Which is another one of those opportunities one can say that Londo has to re-examine his choices in life. Especially having someone like Lanier sacrifice themselves because he tells the doctor that he could have easily have just saved himself, but chose to pull him through. And that's just the kind of guy Lanier is, really. One of the reasons why I really, really like that character.
Respect all life, but I feel kind of bad because even if that life does not follow the same guidelines, I still follow through with mine. That's called being the bigger person and respecting your values over the bias, whether it's in the workplace or personal.
He literally saved a person millions of people consider a terrorist.
Whoa, watch the wordings.
I apologize. Somebody that uses weapons of mass destruction.
Oh my God.
Well, yeah, some would say that Londo's a little bit of a lost cause, but
No. But this is actually why it's so powerful. It's a redemption arc. It's one of those things. It's like you had an individual. He's literally like the assistant to Delenn. She was one of the 9. There were some disagreements. But all of a sudden, it's like, all right, you have Londo, literally like it's second or third to like the actual like emperor of the Centauri, literally the one that started the war, that reconquered Narn and everything like that. And an individual such as that was saved by another races, another planets, member of the religious caste. It's like, could have easily saved himself. He saved the people he knew. And this is why I believe most folks are good people.
Yeah.
It's a benefit of the doubt. Tickle Trunk says the guy pestering Lanier in the waiting. That's hilarious. Yeah, I'm a guy. I forgot. I didn't want to bring that in the waiting area. was the guy last season trying to sue the alien for abducting his great-great-great-grandfather. He was lead of photography, I think. Yeah, he got really creeped out when he realized, oh my God, this is transmitted by touch. I gotta make a phone call. My bad. I'm out. Dick, don't fall off.
Well, again, it's John C. Flynn, who is the director of photography for the entire series and every episode. And he's the guy that is the loudmouth laughing guy who's talking to Lanier.
I got hair, you got a bone. We're buddies. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Anyway, there's
you'd see around North Hollywood.
Say what?
He's somebody you'd see around North Hollywood.
Do folks often rub each other's heads to say hi?
No, North Hollywood got like a bunch of crazy people.
Yeah, so maybe they may do that then.
You described a lot of places right there.
Well, it's crazy even most of them.
You just described a lot of the internet. I'm not saying I don't love it. I identify with that.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, what you have is there's an investigation that Garibaldi has put together, and eventually they're able to narrow everything down to it being a bomb, which changes the nature of the investigation and kicks things into high gear. Meanwhile, G'Kar has a theory as to why the bombings are going off and who's responsible. And of course, he pretty much puts it down to it's the Centauri, which given what's happened to him over the last couple of episodes, it's easy to see why he would think that.
It's even funnier, Keith, is when you have like you see G'Kar going to Garibaldi going, "It must be the Centauri." Aha! See, car ship left everything. He goes, flips to Londo. Must be the Nine. We've had the same problem. They're both like acting like paranoid, like twisted sisters. It's messed up.
Yes,
that makes so much more sense. Having more of the backstory. Yeah. It was a beautiful moment without the context, and with the added context, I'm like, oh my God, they are the odd couple.
Yeah, it's like Walter Matthau. What's his name for
Jack Lemmon?
Jack Lemmon, thank you. But yeah.
Well, the other thing is that, for me, the scene with Londo, visiting Lanier shows you that deep down, again, as I've been saying all through this, Londo isn't necessarily an evil man, but he's made a lot of really, really bad decisions. And this scene allows you to see that he's not a completely lost cause. This is still one of those examples where if he had truly listened, he probably would have figured out a way out of his situation or what is about to come for him. This is one of those instances where, hey, you're given a unique opportunity to change the course of your life. Yeah. And,
isn't this around the time where he's like, I would like out of our arrangement here. We've got what we want.
With Mr. Morden.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
And then at the end, after he's out, he's like, by the way, I've never seen your associate ships. That's nice. Leave this place. Bye.
It goes beyond that too, because it starts showing the stipulations of what Mr. Morden wants, and you see the panic in Londo's eyes when he brings up Rifa, because he already knows Rifa's a fucking loose cannon. And he's like, "Oh, I just talked to Rifa instead," and he's just like, "Oh shit," because he now has no power and he knows what Rifa does in the shadows and even doesn't tell anyone. Like he literally is.
You just left your arrangement. Do you want to have to face what you originally had arranged with that's gotten you what you want? Do you really want to do this? No. You don't have the power here, sir.
Yeah. I just... again, so many good things about this season and what is about to come. So, to me, this is the pivotal last real chance for Londo and his soul, really. So, this is it, because after a lot of this, it's almost, there's no turning back. And what is to come is going to come. And wow.
I don't think it's the last one, but I think it's the aha moment.
Mm-hmm.
He has to make a choice, and he seems to be slightly indifferent because he doesn't want to be in a contract anymore, but he still agrees with what he did. So
yeah.
Didn't Garibaldi say Londo is just hanging on because he's scared? You can see it in his eyes. Things are spinning out of control. Well, they've been out of his control ever since he made the deal with Morden. He hasn't realized it, and that he starts seeing that lack of control when they show that scene of him and the reflection of him on Reefa's ship when they're attacking the Narn homeworld, and that was last season. That, I think, is where the conviction of his conscience comes into question.
Yeah,
I wouldn't hold too much of Londo's fear of Mr. Morden, like, as anything, really. You know, it's not going to hold him back.
No, but you make deals with people in the shadows. You're going to have to deal with the consequences, right?
Yep.
I think a wise man once said, "Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?"
How is Jack Napier in Batman?
You ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? What?
Dude, you have that clip. That's nice.
Yeah, I do.
It was good timing. Then, well, you just look at this. It's like, all right, do I necessarily think Londo is necessarily a bad person per se? For his base character, no, but he's a very bolsterous character. He's being the best Londo he can be. And then when you actually are invited to see your work being done on the front lines rather than at a bar with some delegates, the 30,000, the 100,000, the 100 million light year view away of what's actually happening, when you're actually seeing lives be snuffed out in war, because that's what happens in war, it's a much different experience.
Well, it's different because he's a politician at the end of the day, right? He's the ambassador to Babylon 5 for the Centauri. He's on that station making sure that whatever's going on there benefits his people. When he's brought, like you said, to the screen to that ship and seeing the outcome of his choices, he's starting to realize that it's no longer a political conflict of trying to prove this, that, who's right and who's wrong. They're literally seeing that it's the lives being snuffed out over the choice of political power, and that's where this thing starts dwelling in him.
And he's very much raised to be a politician, which makes like this whole being saved by someone who is servant class in his mind, and completely selflessly, he's an aha moment, realizing, well, I guess I'm, treating everyone like a pawn isn't the way to go anymore.
I think he realized he was a pawn within himself, and that's why he doesn't want to be a pawn anymore.
Maybe that could be, but it's definitely the beginning of a transition versus being the midst of one.
I didn't bring the question. So I put this guy on the screen. This is our main protagonist, the guy who's been causing all the crap. He's going after life, and literally, the guy is this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this guy literally is doing all these explosions and attacks because they took his apartment away from him.
He lost everything. His wife left him. He lost his job. He lost his apartment. He lost everything. And everyone else took it away from him because it was all their fault and he's not taking responsibility. So now he's going to blow stuff up. Because sometimes people just are that whiny and entitled and crazy. Legit crazy. Not fun crazy. Legit crazy.
I thought his gripe was with the system, so he was tearing down the literal system and stuff by just causing chaos. And
more or less. But he's not taking it. It's the
hello, Mountain Listen.
I'm going to destroy everything because it's their fault.
Yeah,
That's it. That's it.
Tropey trope stuff, but that's fine. It works out.
Did
But
he
it's
write a
easy.
letter to his senator?
No, it's easy. That's the thing. We can look at this as a whole, even in present day, whether in real life or not. We've all been through the situation, and people are. It's easier to blame someone else, something else, rather than how that you got, or that situation got to that point. Yes, sometimes it is outside forces, but at the end of the day, you're making the choices on your own road.
What?
Maybe I'm just saying this wrong.
Nope. Nobody would ever blame someone else on the internet.
No, of course not. No one
It's not
ever
even
blames
just the-
anyone on the internet or tries to
But
go
that's the
after
funny
anyone.
part is that this is vaguely super early internet, so it's not even a question of on the internet. It's just human nature that some people don't have it within them to own up to failure or own up to bad choices or own up to
Mistakes.
whatever it is their own shortcomings are, and they project it onto others. It's not a new thing. It is,
Yeah,
it
they
is
make
and
it
anyone
relevant.
and the people that try to act like it's magically new are the most deluded.
It's easier to make a villain out of someone or something else than look at yourself and figure out where you villainized your life story. And sometimes it's just the simplest thing of accepting your problem, moving on. No one likes to accept their weakness, even though accepting their weakness is a sort of strength, because from that weakness, you can learn how to become less weak and to go down that road again. Again, I'm talking philosophical. Archer Colin Cookie says, I think Londo was a true believer. Everything he did for what he thought was the good of the Centauri Empire, but it is coming to realize that it's not what's happening. No, because it's no longer the good of the Centauri Empire. It's the good of whatever Mr. Morden wants. Go on.
Chapter 2.
I'll be right back.
Oh, all I was gonna say is to take a comma backwards there. I was gonna say we kind of live in an age where it's like mirror, mirror on the wall. Ask whatever question you have. If you get an answer you don't like, change the channel.
You have a channel in your mirror?
Well, doesn't everybody?
Or you can that exists. You can get TV.
I mean, this is kind of a mirror, except it's using photons and electrons and kind of stuff. Okay, it's not a mirror.
I'm also being serious. You can get mirrors that have monitors in them.
That's a
Turn
lie,
on.
Mountains.
Yeah.
Sorry. Keith and Adega, you guys haven't said much. Do you want anything? Do you have anything to add to this episode? Because I feel like it's been.
Well, for me, I mean, sitting back and watching you guys discuss this episode, that's great. I mean, it first of all, it does my heart good because you guys seem to really be enjoying it and getting into it. So, which is really what the point of it is. All I have to say is I did enjoy this episode. It isn't my favorite of this season, but it helps to make this, in my opinion, probably the best season of the show. So,
How about you, Adega?
Nah, I was just thinking when you guys were talking about people saying things and going throughout their life without consequences, always pointing at the other for justification of what they have done. I think that sounds like most of Twitter.
Well, I mean, you could say that about anything, though, because there's always going to be a lot of that somewhere, inevitably.
Well, there's a large group of people that have never been told that some things are right, some things
but
are
you're
wrong,
also
and there's
proving me
consequences.
right. You're also literally proving me right by saying it's magically new. It's not at all new. There's just a lot of people, and often loud people, and now it's easy to be very loud to get attention for being that kind of person. It's not new.
The internet is new. Like, they're able to communicate and group together in bigger groups because of it now than ever before. But
Monkey is correct. The velocity of information is much higher.
It's a good point, sir. It's just easier to be loud now. That's all. It's not that there's more.
I think there's an aspect that it's both, maybe, and I'm going to say this from an opinion point of view, that maybe because of the amount of social media out there, the amount of it being thrown in our faces, is that it's new to some because it's more out in the public. and more noticeable. So in a way, to people, it is new because it's a lot more with force rather than just little things building up. It could be new depending on the perspective, not only the human being actually reading it, but how it is intaked by their own personal bias of taking in that knowledge. Every situation is different pertaining to the person who's actually involved with it.
Yeah.
It's inescapable now, I think one could say.
Yeah. I like words.
Words are good.
Sorry, Dave, you have more to add? I didn't mean to cut you off if I did.
No, that's all right.
All right, cool. What about anything else we should get in this chat besides this guy losing his mind after he hears that everyone lying to him? He's literally like he's in distress at this point. He's like lost his shit. He's off his rocker. He's willing to do it. And you got Garibaldi looking for where the last device is. This guy's smart. He welded it shut, for God's sakes. He put it. He's only going after people, and he's all because he wants the shit to get out there. And he's starting to realize that he's already being known across the Earth systems. He's not going to get anywhere, and he has the dead man's trigger. Like
there's no escape, no matter what happens. People know that he has done this. His only chance is at least for maybe a temporary escape by utilizing the situation. And when he realizes this guy isn't even listening to me as well, and then that's the point where Sheridan's like, F this, and he just goes in and everything. It's like, well, sometimes you got to act, and then they happen to act just in the nick of time. Welcome to the 90s.
I will say this episode is definitely not as powerful as the first one we got with this season, but it definitely had some good moments. And I think the saving grace for this episode was literally G'Kar and Londo in the elevator at Tanagra. I think that's it.
Mm-hmm. But I also like Londo's, talking to Lanier, even though Lanier can't respond. Again, it gives us a different glimpse at Londo to help further understand and ultimately show the depth of the tragedy of what is going to probably happen to him at the end of the series. So,
because he has that dream. He has that dream. All of a sudden, he sees it. He's like, he's making a connection. Have you ever seen this ship? And it's just like, yes, in a dream. It's like a terrible dream.
Mountains of Elysium brings up a thing because I know Memes retweeted this and commented on it, and I did too, inviting him on. JMS mentioned in a tweet earlier that the new Babylon 5 is not an impossibility. Babylon 5 lives. Yes. And I actually commented saying we've had a Patricia Tomlin, and you and any one of your cast has an open invitation to join us and talk about the show. Anything. Like, that's what I want. And I'm terrified at the same time because unless he has creative control, and we don't have the big corp trying to stick their fingers in, it could be brilliant or it could be brutal. And I would rather keep it without if it goes to brutal. Like a Crusade is a good point.
I think they should just start a studio that's called Hot Tub Warehouse and do it themselves. And, not necessarily a hot tub warehouse, but call the studio that. That's a great idea.
They could also sell, like, I don't know, saunas? No, that's not a sauna. No,
that's different.
A hot tub? Jacuzzis.
Jacuzzis, yeah. Isn't that a synonym? I don't know. That could be
it's more enclosed. Hot tub is usually larger and probably easier to sell. We should probably sell hot tubs instead. My buddy worked at a pool store once. They had hot tub.
I got you.
This random comment was brought to you by Momberry. Huh? What did he say? There you go. So, like, I'll give this episode. This episode gets a 7 for me. It does. It has great character interaction, but the storyline within itself, if there was no elevator scene, it would have nothing.
It would be a little too melodramatic. Obviously explosions are dramatic, but hostage-like situation that's like cheesy because we know they're going to beat the bad guy is just a little much. So the ebb and flow.
They're not going to blow up B5 in episode 2 of season 3.
Right. Yeah.
E. Clay Thompson, I understand where you're coming with that, but I'm gonna put the argument in the opposite for that one. the one thing that's great about Straczynski is that he wants to be in control of this. If it was going to come as a remake, or there was going to be a continuation of a series or a new series, he would want creative control. And if the companies wouldn't give it to him, then it won't get made. I don't think it would be woke trash. It would be genuine to whatever he has left over in his notes. I don't think every person that has written a show that has become a fabulous TV series or movie or anything like that has bent the knee to a woke checklist idealism. I don't think that's the case, because we would see a lot more of it. That's one thing with JM. Like, you've seen his tweets where he's reaching out, hey, I would have loved to handle a Doctor Who, or I would have loved to have a B5 done, but he wants to maintain control. He has left TNT. He left when fucking TNT started running Crusade and other stuff. There are creators out there that have their properties in a world and universe that wants to be continued with the respect that came before. And I think that they're diminishing, but they're there.
Yeah, there are people who are very quiet about how they own their IP or how they go about creating their contributions to an IP, starting up a business within a business. So it's like a shell, but it's not like, shady. It's just, I'm going to take this little chunk of what I'm participating in and branch out this way for my own thing, which they kind of compartmentalize in a good way so they can stay true to an IP or an idea or their own thing.
Yeah,
so
it's a way to pay for doing what you actually love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there a lot of creative people are at least know the right financial minds in these kinds of things.
Well, the thing is, if you have the resources and the right people and folks actually want to get it done, I mean, even look at like a movie like Deadpool. It's like, what was it, like $80-some million? The movie made like $1 billion. I'm like, it was an S-talking like anti-hero, and it was also rated R. It's like, oh my god, you can't make an R-rated Marvel movie.
And it took a long time to make. So.
All right, Eclay Thomason. Sorry, I mispronounced. Comes back with disagree. JMS himself is woke as AF. If you follow him on Twitter, I do follow him on Twitter. But
is he, or is he just a liberal? Because there is a difference.
Not every. Go on.
There's a difference between just being a liberal, like a Democrat, liberal, whatever, and being pro political correctness. Those are not necessarily the same thing. They can be compartmentalized. So
you got to be careful of categorizing people you disagree with and just saying it's woke or anti-SJW, this or that. It's like, believe it or not, the loudest voices don't often represent the vast majority of people. They just happen to be very loud voices. And this is actually, to be fair, if you want to categorize more progressive ideas as quote-unquote woke, B5 is woke as F. It's like, absolutely. All right, you already had basically, quote-unquote, the lesbian scene that we didn't quite show right before we're getting rid of a character and everything because of the triggering. I'm like, you have that. I mean, if you're looking at this, I'm like, all right, you got basically kind of got like a Dr. Huxtable there, but he's also a military man. I'm just like, all right, you got a lot of stuff. But here's the thing, it wasn't shoved down your throat. It's done well. Whatever you do it awesome.
Practical, like progressive ideas, because the entire point is illustrating that humanity is not a race thing. It's a concept of community. So that is arguably progressive in the way that people understand that vis-a-vis 1980s, whereas what it has transcended and initiated as it's very different than what it was at that point in time. So.
Mountain Elizabeth quickly says, thank you, Kate. JMS turned down more B5 when he didn't have more control. Yes, we've discussed that numerous times throughout this show's progression. Lost Tales was supposed to have more installments, but the studio wanted to too much say in what happened. Yeah, that's why Crusade only lasted one season. They had something that could have been not only brilliant in exploration, they could have taken B5 to a Star Trek-esque type of point of view, because Earth was in jeopardy. It was infected by a Shadows virus, or servers of the Shadows virus. It was the ending of the human race, if you would say. And Crusade could have gone down a much better road. Technomancers were even involved. They wanted to help out. And TNT fucked it up. I don't believe he's woke. I haven't seen anything woke in his tweets. Maybe I just don't look for it. I'm not saying you do either, but there's a difference, I think, between being woke and accepting everyone's personal views on the reality of what the truth could be.
Yeah, because the thing about the B5 cast is it's pretty much all of it. I mean, some cast members were liberal and some cast members were conservative. You know, and some were even more conservative than most. I mean, to give you a good example of that, Bruce Boxleitner is a conservative. Okay. But Jerry Doyle, wow. I mean, he was
Bruce Willis.
He had a particular point of view, and he didn't much care for people on the left.
Well, I noticed that there are a lot of, and it may be accidental, there are a lot of things that are similar to Atlas Shrugged in this. Like the tone is very similar. How some of the characters say things the way they do is very similar. And that is not a left or right thing, but it is a very objective, individualism, liberty-minded thing.
Yeah.
So that I don't know if
It's
that's just
more
me.
of a militaristic structure.
Babylon 5, yes. Atlas Shrugged, no.
What I think the thing also is that you can have points of view that are on both sides of a coin or political system, and I hate fucking politics. I don't ban from here. I don't talk about politics, but I think if you're able to see both sides of whatever things going on and see the respect within both of them and find the truth within both of them, that's not woke. You're literally identifying the truth within the factors of a certain situation and branching it out. So it's a reality. Woke does exist, but it's the fact that you're accepting everything as the equal. Isn't that what it pretty much is? Everyone's trying to, maybe I'm wrong on this, but isn't the whole point of woke is because everyone's trying to be better than the other? But the fact is we can still have a show where everyone is equal because they're trying to all survive, especially with season 3. The whole thing is the Great War is coming and everyone's just trying to fucking live. So woke doesn't matter anymore. It's all about the continuation, the protection of life in general across the universe. Because either we're going to get the chaotic or we're going to get the fucking control. There's no balance. There's balance in the middle because things will always be chaotic and out of your control, but you can still control what is not chaotic. That's in your grasp.
Well, this is the thing. No, nothing motivates like complete fear of annihilation. And what I'd say is a good barometer is just sit back and just ask yourself, is this so offensive that I'm willing to challenge this person to a duel about it and potentially lose my life? Because I say just legalize dueling. Because if we have a system where people try to one-up each other and then we end up like putting in our heads, oh my God, this is what these people do. And then we start just tracing out but the most extreme loud people and saying, well, all these people, most folks that I know, they're generally fairly moderate, probably falls along a very broad political spectrum and probably get the loudest voices, I don't know, like 2 to 8% on either side there. So if you got about 80-85% of folks in the middle that just get torn apart because it's like, well, I'm friends with these people and I kind of like this and I believe this and this person said mean words to me. It's like, wait a second, pause. How about this? Back in the day, if there were mean words said about you, you'd ask for an apology. If somebody didn't apologize, you could demand satisfaction. You could challenge them to a duel. I say, in my opinion, let consenting adults engage in mortal combat under the doctrine of bodily autonomy. Your body, your choice. I say we let them fight, legalize it.
I think people do that already anyway. Like they argue and then, like I've seen people do that. Then they shake hands afterwards. Like, okay, it's done. It's all good.
See, like the internet is cheap words.
Now quickly. Now, Thomason, I will never argue your opinion or your point of view. I will respect it. And you say B5 is fine. JMS didn't get too bad until the mid 2000s. See, I don't know that because I don't look. I didn't know that, or if it's true,
I can understand what you're coming from, and there's probably some reasonable truth that he had differing opinions, and a lot of people at that point in time were like that. I remember, it was crazy, and. And it's crazy, like it's very similar to the crazy of a handful of years ago, to be honest. And that being said, I don't know enough about him or his worldviews or anything. However, I do know people who disagree with me on some things, really like Atlas Shrugged. So maybe my guess is right, maybe it's wrong.
I think a lot of it depends on where you live too. If you happen to be in like West Coast or
yeah, but I don't know where his writing went downhill. But just because his writing went downhill in some place, I don't think it'll go downhill in something that he actually cares about. Maybe the whole thing is we have to look at this as a whole. I hate going back to this argument to defend whatever thing is because this is just it. Sometimes writers, creators, illustrators, whatever it is, they don't have a fucking choice when it comes to the company that hired them. They have to do it a certain way or they won't get their fucking paycheck. It doesn't make the individual woke. It's because they're told to do this even if they don't fucking like it. And that's how we all have experienced a workplace. We have all been in a job, an environment where we don't like what the fuck is going on, but we have to do it anyways. You know why? Because we have to put food on the table, pay our fucking rent, do our fucking bills. I don't think that's woke. But I think it sucks that we sometimes have to kiss ass, shut our fucking mouths, and do what we're told. That's the evolution of adulting, and it fucking sucks.
That's
but
it.
We do it anyways.
That's why I propose my solution.
Yeah, and I respect the opinions. I respect you too, Clay. I really do. I don't see the woke. Because it woke means you're just from like there's so many different interpretations. Lately, everything with woke is like as soon as it's the bestest ever, or you're automatically saying this, and this. It becomes this troglodyte campaign to just one up someone, and then the discussion is lost. The respective opinion is lost, and it becomes this inner battle of whose logic is more logical. And then it gets to the point where people just block each other because like fuck this shit. Rather than shake hands, respect the other opinions, and go out for a fucking beer afterwards. That is fucking lost in the goddamn community and fucking society. I don't care if you're woke or not. I don't care what you believe in or what fucking is on your protest sign. But I want to be able to have a beer with you at the end of the night and go, hey, we're still fucking friends. And that's the shit I think that's bothering a lot of people, whether it's across YouTube, Twitch, Purple Platform, or anything like that. It's the fact that we've lost the art of discussion, respecting what we like and don't like, and moving the fuck on. Why can't what we're doing right here be the virus that spreads across everywhere else where we can just have normal in the 90s again? Or the 80s. I'd rather have a pop caller and talk about memes being late and still talk about things that are fun. I'd rather have that discussion. That's the whole point of going to the bar with your buddies. Get dumped by chicks, rejected by chicks, don't spill your beer, throw up so no one can hear you, eat chicken wings, don't mess up your shirt. I'm sorry.
Steven's youth in one sentence.
Yeah, I mean, I used to resemble all those remarks until we were kind of forced to go in and only have the internet as interactions during an election year. I mean, what the heck could go wrong when everyone's locked indoors and can't get out and have fun?
And this is not.
This is not at all. Don't do
this
that.
This is not a personal attack against anyone. What I'm saying is, I am tired of everyone trying to just look for all the negative, or only see the negative. And the whole thing is that we're not negative beings. We're going to have differences. That's the whole freedom of choice, freedom of thought. We're all different. We're not Borg. We're not clones, but we're all going down. There's a lot of people in a lot of like situations where we're going down this road where we're only looking for one typical thing and the branches from that one fucking tree. And you know what that means? We've lost the ability to see the creative ideals in between those reasonings.
So you're saying we need more trees?
No, we need more fucking freedom of respecting opinion.
No, we need more individuality.
That's a respecting opinion because every opinion is different. Like an
asshole. No. Okay. Stephen, no. Let me give you a quote unquote white pill right here. Here's the thing. I believe most folks, irregardless I'm from the greater Boston area. We like to make up words here. So irregardless of any of that, I'm not really a big fan of hating on the player. I'm more a fan of hating on the game. I look at the game. This is the thing. What's popular, and this has been identified since 2013. Tim Pool, as much as I've lost respect for Tim Pool, he's still at the nail on the head. It's like, you're working with these companies. What gets engagement? Things that make you angry.
Memes. But that's right. Right now we're discussing about what we don't like about episodes. We're not always going to like it. We're not always good. Everyone's going to like it or not. Oh, we hate it. You're talking literally about the fact, I just lost my train of thought, but it's pretty much, don't hate the person. Hate the actions, dislike the actions, because the person's actions might not always line up with the actual individual. It falls in the same lines.
Well,
And Chico
you
Trump-
argue with the idea, not attack a person's character. That's called
because
an ad
sometimes
hominem
we have
attack.
to go along with an idea just to shut the other party the fuck up.
I mean, a lot of times I'll just say okay and just We in sales we call that dead earing. You just be like,
because it makes a
and
situation.
you don't need to disagree about everything. It's like you're just
yeah. But look at this episode in general. This guy's Sheridan is trying to calm down this guy who feels like everyone else is to blame for how things have turned out, right? And he's trying to calm it down, but at the same time mentioning it down. And it's at the point where it's no longer done, and he came to one solution: knock the fucker up. And Tickle Trunk with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much for being a member and donating. He says, science fiction is about hearing all points of view and making up your own mind. Yes, it's supposed to make you think. No matter the politics. I fucking hate politics. We are students of science fiction. Now beer me. And sir, I will beer you. I don't have a beer super chat, but sir, what can I give him other than...
What is the multiplicator? What gets you drunk quicker? What comes in balls in the cans?
I want is some sweet new balls.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, clean your ears out, woman. I want some balls.
That just replace balls with beer, and you're good.
It was good whoop for me.
And I hate to sound like a rager because I'm not raging. It's just like I really.
It was a necessary rage. And no. It was more of you went into the zone. You were like Ultra Instinct Omen. You just kind of just went into, no, this is beautiful. This is why I like you. Just because it's like you're just an ad hoc color commentator that can just get into so many different discussions and just like add entertaining commentary.
Well, look at Clobber in Time. Clobber in Time is a perfect example. Him and Raquel Briggs do Star Trek every week, right? And they talk about the episodes and how brilliant it was and this, and that. And people just tune the fuck in because they remember those episodes and it just draws them in. Same way we talk about Babylon 5 and like we have 18 to 25, maybe 30 people who just sit there and just joke around with us. We're not pointing out how fucking this or that. No. What? That's the art form that's being attacked.
Well,
comedians, for God's sakes. Bill Burr, for fuck's sakes. I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent.
Oh, no. And Mr. Tickle Trunk and a lot of folks there are right. It's like, if you're going to go on a little bit of rant, you rant about something you didn't like in the episode. And I think, what was it, Adega last week was like, oh, I didn't like it when Kosh, like, he waited so long for the nod. And I'm like, I noticed that too. At the same time, I'm like, wouldn't that be very Kosh-like? To just be like, give you a moment of suspense. So it's like I did notice that too. I did notice it too. Maybe it's just because I compartmentalized it just with everything else going on. I'm like, God exists. I don't know. It felt like a very good feeling. With all the war and everything, you need to look for the light sometimes.
But Kosh was drained because he had to project a different imagery to each one of those species that were in that.
I like how they actually explain that. This is the great thing about the series. They actually connected. It's not like this thing happens. How the heck did that happen? I don't know. It's like Dragon Balls. How's this fusion? We're just kind of retconning this over. We're just going to throw in this stuff here.
Whoa. So you're telling me that isn't just pareidolia? Like he actively knows and deliberately projected those images? Okay. Well, that's interesting. I fully assumed it was pareidolia.
Okay. Remember the Jack the Ripper episode? They have been visiting planets for 1,000 years, so they already know and track the religious things. I'm not yelling.
I'm just saying I thought it was pareidolia. That was a logical thing for me to come to.
What's that?
I'm excited. I'm not.
You don't know. Pareidolia is when you see faces where there aren't faces. So, like in a tree, that has
So the individual saw something divine, so the observer would view it rather than Kosh himself having to. Okay.
Yeah, right. I totally.
I mean, what Steven said would make more sense because I'm like, oh, he has to go back in for that. I'm like, well, can he even survive?
How that
but
makes
that would explain how it would drain.
But I'm just a painfully logical person. That's all.
I assume the same thing.
I'll still take it. I'm not yelling. I'm just excited.
It was just kind of loud. I'm sorry.
Well, the mics were like a foot away from my mouth. I apologize, but like,
how dare you be excited about a show you love?
But that's the thing. I just made the connection now because it just hit me. The whole Jack the Ripper episode makes perfect prelude to why they explained Kosh and how everyone saw something different is because they've been visiting planets for thousands of years, so they know the history of these planets and what the religious factors are, and they probably track them. So that's how the imagery is being able, because they're energy beings, right? We don't know how they affect the physical realm. And everyone saw something different. And we got the Drazi came in there going, oh, look, plant, touch that, touch that, touch that. That's where I think the reasoning came in. I love this fucking show because I don't get to talk like this much. None of us do. It's always hate Star Wars. Fuck hating shit. Pull out your shit and love it if you love it. Sorry, it's a wide range. Sorry. Go ahead, Keith or Dagger. Anyone else have something to add? Because I feel like I've just been all over the place.
Hey, you know what? You're excited, you know, and that's always a good thing. I'm good. I mean, I'm ready to rate the episode.
In other words, he's hungry and wants dinner. Gentleman Joker says, what up, guys? I would add to this discussion only that reconciliation and understanding must be desired by both parties. I agree, and requires good faith. Are you seeing that from both sides? That's the problem. I think that's where it falls. I think under the whole lost art form. There's always going to be someone that doesn't want to do that. They don't.
Stephen, I'm going to interject here just because I'm being rude, and I would say it's a matter of honor. Would you not say that as well? It was the first episode we covered.
But if it's a matter
this is why I say the dueling thing. It's a backstop. It's like, are you willing to literally die on this hill?
But if you have a dueling and it ends up taking a life, how is the opinion ever supposed to be respected?
Well, it was consenting adults agreeing to it.
Consenting adults agreeing to do
their body's their choice.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not trying to sound like a dick either.
No. It's basically meant to separate people that just want to talk smack from people that are like, I am literally willing to die.
That's where I'm coming from, because like I've seen Twitter, I've stopped interacting with nut jobs on Twitter. I've stopped trying to go down that road because as soon as you use logic, they block you, and then it goes right back to that thing you're talking about. If both parties are trying to have a discussion, the other party just says, "Oh, fuck logic, I'm out." Fuck, that's
well, a lot of folks just go there to argue too.
I'm all for team go fuck yourself when it comes to things that impede on individualism and liberty. Dead stop. Go fuck yourself. Do not care. I just don't have time for it anymore. I used to back in the day. But that's.
What
do we think of this episode, everybody?
We get to 6 after this discussion. And if anyone feels like I was coming at them and attacking them personally, I wasn't.
Oh, 8.3.
All right, let's wrap it up. We got 7 minutes. Keith has to go eat or something, I think. I don't know. I give it a 7. Who's next?
I'll give it a 7.
7.5.
Kate?
Probably an 8.
Cool. What about memes?
8.3.
Okay.
I'll give it a 7 too.
7 for a thing, and yeah, that's a good calling. It wasn't as good as 1, but it still had its place. And I think again, I'll call the elevator scene the saving grace. B5 religious imagery can be viewed either way, as flat of manipulation by the Vorlons or the Vorlons using existing imagery. It is left unanswered, so people make up their own minds. Brilliant.
So it could be both. Yeah. They don't specify. Kosh said he was drained, so one may infer that. Okay.
Yeah, that's where I thought that he wasted a lot of energy making people see what they wanted to see.
Or flying. That could be draining. And catching a full-grown man, that can be draining.
But if it's an energy life form, why the imagery of wings and an angel-like presence? That's where I saw.
There is an answer in the books.
Okay, we'll have to find the books.
We're brought in.
No, actually, I know what it is, but that's okay.
Oh, so what you're
it's
saying?
It's a little bit of a spoiler. I can explain it later on, but not right now.
Okay. Be careful of doing your research.
Yeah, like honestly, I have fun talking about this. It's never, and I hope no one ever takes this as a personal attack or me telling you you're wrong. I don't do that.
Oh, you can disagree with somebody and still be friends. It's okay to be human.
But I don't feel right unless it's actually like a math problem that's wrong. Yeah, you're wrong, but I can't say you're wrong just because my bias. I feel my bias outweighs another person's. It's not. That's not how you have conversation. It's not. It's selfish.
It's sometimes no, go on.
All I wanted to say is I want to thank you guys just for always being here. You guys always giving discussion, having fun, joking around. You guys are special in yourselves. Thank you. We have episode 3 and 4 next week of season 3. Does anyone else
and I look forward to it. Again, this is.
I'm excited. I actually know what happened in the past now. Makes it so much better.
And for those wondering, I'm going to quickly pull it up. Next week's episodes, as soon as my hard drive pulls up, it's going to be a day in strife and passing through Gethsemane. Thank you. I can't use G's today. It's just so hard. And I'm not saying it was the Vorlons, but it was the Vorlons. Thank you, Elysium. You're great. It's the lack of good faith that makes me have no desire to dig for the artistic merit in propaganda that targets me as the enemy. I agree. I just don't want to pay attention to it.
This is the thing. The way a lot of folks come off, and social media and just the internet's one of the greatest tools in history. It's kind of like chakra. It's a tool that can bring us all together. It can be used as a weapon to drive us apart. It's this is just, you can use it for whatever you want. And unfortunately, folks have been saying this for years, especially with celebrities. When they would get caught on the mic saying things, it's a lot of folks disagree with that. Those probably weren't the best words. Maybe you got caught on a hot mic, and now when you have Twitter, it's very easy to do and not realize that you just said something to a lot of folks. And this is the thing. It doesn't matter the side. Folks, to know, you only know what you know. You're very often, it's all right, if you're around a lot of folks, you're going to tend to kind of act like them. If you happen to be on the West Coast, it might be a little different than, I don't know, maybe if you're in Texas, maybe if you're in Florida, maybe if you're in Massachusetts. We have a very diverse nation here, and even across the world. It really depends upon the observer. Basically, all I'm saying is when somebody says something, it might be very hurtful, it might be mean words and stuff, but that's not always people's intention. And other people that are trying to do that, we usually refer to them as a-holes.
The truth hurts. I'll leave it at that. I want to thank my chat. I want to thank my mods, members, new viewers, old viewers, subscribers, and whatnot. You guys are always welcome here. My house has an open door policy. I love discussion. We all love discussion. That's why we get along here. And 3 and 4 next week. You know the titles. It's been great. Thank you, everyone. Remember one thing. Memes said this. Mumberry. It's true.
Get them while they're fresh.
And don't forget that this show is sponsored by Master Grift. Please don't steal content without it. Check the shop for your own Master Grift stuff. And Skelebatus. What the fuck happened? Here comes the outro. Y'all have a great night. I don't know what else is happening today, but take care.
No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. I said, ooh, I'm drowning in the night. Oh, when I'm like this, you're the one.
Wait, you guys blew up the UFO.
Cause I can see the sunlight up the sky. So I hit the road in overdrive, baby. Oh, the city's cold and empty. No one's around to judge me. I can see clearly when you're gone. Oh,
It makes silly sound.
No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. I said, ooh, I'm drowning in the night. Oh, when I'm like this, you're the one I trust. I'm just going back to like you know. I could never say it on the phone. We'll never let you go. This time, I said, ooh.
Thank you very much for coming. I appreciate everyone who comes and makes this show a lot more lively every week. Spread it to your friends. Let's get this shit going. Do something fun. Have a little selfishness. And remember, you only live once.